Hi, Ancient Mahara here. So, I'm not feeling peppy. Like I'm feeling okay, but I'm not feeling peppy. So you might see like a series of videos in the same top because I'm doing them at the same time, and prior to this, and I can jump up more easily and just keep changing my tops, but not right now. So hope you understand that. Anyway, another comment I just wanted to address in a video was left on the video I did, BPD breakup, can you get the borderline to love you again? And so, that was a while back. I think that's like a year and a half ago or so. And I don't remember what I said in there, but like I do know the answer to the question, can you get the borderline to love you again, is no. So, because they didn't love you in the first place, right? So not only can you not get them to love you again, but they didn't love you in the first place. So double no, right? Anyway, this commenter asks, AJ, are you saying in that video that people with codependency can't get their love back? I'm not sure. But they can get the good feelings back within themselves and even better. Interesting, because I've been kind of considering this one for a little while. It's a little confusing. So, am I saying in that video that people with codependency can't get their love back? Well, I don't recall what I said in the video, but probably something like that. Yeah, like you. But I think this person is thinking that back meant something else. Like I meant in the actual relating, you don't get loved back. You don't get your needs seen and heard by the partner with BPD. So I think this person might be taking that out of context a bit, so that you don't get your love back, and then they're probably, it seems to me, what do you think? Leave a comment below if you think I've got this wrong, because I don't know. Seems to me that they mean getting the love back as to the question that the video title is, can you get the borderline to love you again? So they're thinking, can you get that love back? And I didn't have time to listen. I don't like to rewatch my videos, so I didn't listen back to it. But, so yeah, people with codependency aren't loved. I mean, people in general aren't loved by people with BPD if they're untreated and if they're not really significantly treated. And what does that look like? And it means a lot of change. Not just they went to therapy for 5 years, but they're the same, which I've had, people email me about, clients over the years talk to me about, and probably there's been comments like that on the channel over time too. So I think, yes, you can't get the love back in that one sense, and then, but they can get, but was I saying that codependents can get the good feelings back within themselves and even better? Well, generally speaking, what I say about that, I think it would be more or less in a context that people with codependency, when you go no contact, or if there's a child involved, really bounded low contact, which takes work and time to craft those boundaries, and that, to hope that the person with BPD will somehow be a little bit cooperative, or at least learn maybe the hard way that they can't cross certain boundaries, etc. And no contact is the best thing if there are no children involved. So with regard to this, but did I say that codependents could get those feelings back, get the good feelings back within themselves? Well, the way this is written, I take that to mean, can you get the good feelings that you got from the BPD back within yourself as a codependent? I'm like, no. And you know what? That's really good news, even if that isn't what you want to hear right now, because you don't really want those feelings back that you're probably still in some measure of pain about, because the feelings were for somebody who wasn't really who you thought they were, and the feelings are wrapped up in the intensity of how these relationships kind of smuck together and then blow apart. So I'm not sure that it's really even healthy for codependents to want to get those feelings back, that intensity of feeling, and what turned out to not be true. So it sounds like this person is really looking for another way to get the good feelings back that they had with a person with BPD without having a relationship with a person with BPD and somehow on their own. And so if I'm interpreting this at all correctly, because it's not very clear, then I would say, no, that's not what I'm saying. You don't get the good feelings back within yourself like you had with the borderline, but that's not even the goal. That's not even healthy for you. So you can, and then he said within themselves, and even better. Well, the even better part is, and I'm not here to work with you if I resonate with you. If you want to work on healing from BPD relationship breakup or an NPD relationship breakup, and or a cluster B in your family of origin and your codependency recovery, then yeah, through all of that process and work and healing and recovery, you can definitely come out the other side feeling much better and having a lot of positive feelings and being feeling better about yourself, having a healthy relationship to and with yourself. And so, and you will feel even better than you've ever felt before, but it won't be like recapturing the quote good feelings of what it was like to be with the borderline, because it turns out that some people still in a way idealize or in cognitive dissonance or rumination or with limerence still focusing on really believing those were the best feelings ever. And while they might have been in a way, in a bigger picture way, they really aren't and weren't. And that's what people with codependency will learn through a healing and recovery process, like how I work with clients, because that has left you with so much agony, and it really isn't because it was so good. Because if you're in agony now, and you might in cognitive dissonance only focus on what was the positive, then you're missing the other side, and you're still thinking more about when you were with that person that you thought they were, that they aren't. And so that becomes almost like what I would term, and I don't know if anybody's, I don't see anything out officially about this, but I almost call that like codependency fantasy thinking. Very painful, very not helpful, will keep you very stuck. So what I'm usually talking about, and I said in that video, just like that video right there, this one, oh, whoops, just larger me back then too, in a purple shirt. Okay, so I would not be saying though that you can get the feelings back that you had with the ex and feel even better than that. Yeah, so that's the way that I read this. Just that's my interpretation. So but you can't get the love back from the borderline because they didn't love you in the first place. And but no, I never said but codependents can get the good feelings back within themselves, and even better, that have anything to do with the way that you felt with the borderline. No, because actually what people learn in codependency recovery is that those feelings kind of go back to something in childhood usually, which is about woundedness. So the genesis of what felt so good, and you might still believe feeling is so good, really isn't good for you, and really isn't as positive or as healthy a positive feeling or feelings as you're remembering, right? So, and that's in the one half of the cognitive dissonance. So I would have never said that. And the even better part, if I said people could feel even better, that's when people with codependency change the dysfunctional relationship to and with self out of childhood woundedness, which is different for a lot of people with codependency and to varying degrees. And you will feel better when you know yourself more. Toby, give us all a break. You'll feel better when you know yourself more, when you've individuated out of that family system role, your family of origin role, which creates a lot of pain for people, but they might not be consciously aware of it. That's the best I can do with that person's comment, because it was rather unclear. And yet I think that the way I interpreted it, Whether that's all correct or not, I don't know. But I think it's probably the best way to go about it. And I do know that I would have never said that you're going to get those great feelings back as if you had the BPDX back. So I think maybe I might have to go listen to that now just to see, but I really don't want to watch my videos back. So there you go. Anyway, so, can you get the love and the great feelings back like when you were with the borderline? No, but that's maybe the bad news at the moment. But you know what? It's also the good news. And it might not feel like that right now, but that's why people need to get into a healing and recovery journey to be able to understand what's driving the hanging on to what that felt like, given what it actually turned out to not be about, and how much it's hurt you. So I hope that was helpful for people with codependency who might still really be wanting an ex back or wanting those feelings back. And let me just tell you too that, people that recycle with a borderline ex, you're not really going to get those feelings back the way that you ever had them prior. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but maybe that's for another video on another day. So I hope that gives you food for thought or was helpful. And as always, take care.